Before you ever say a word, your body has already spoken for you. And whether you realize it or not, your body is either building trust or breaking it. If you want to become more persuasive, more powerful, and more profitable, this video is going to show you how to turn your body language into your greatest superpower. Welcome, my name is Dee Giles, a wealth and transformation coach. And in this video, stay to the end because it's going to blow your mind and get you to convert your audience into customers. The truth is, you can say all the right things, but if your body is saying something else, your message will literally fall flat. Today, I'm going to show you how the best speakers, closers, and communicators use body language to get people to pay attention, lean in, and say yes, all right? So over 50% of communication is nonverbal. Isn't that crazy? It's nonverbal. That means people are forming opinions about your credibility, your confidence, and your authority, all before you even speak. Think about that. Before you even open up your mouth, when you walk into a room, your body language says it all, even online. If you're a coach, a content creator, or a speaker, or even a business leader, body language is one of the fastest ways to become more magnetic on camera, on stage, or even on sales calls. People can really feel your energy. They can feel what you're giving them. So you have to be able to know what your body is saying so that you can communicate with your audience. So here's what science shows. People mirror what they feel. That's called mirror neurons. Did you hear that? People mirror what they feel. It's called mirror neurons. The reason why I know this, and I didn't know the scientific term before, was as a worship leader as well in church, right? And so I'm a believer in also being a worship leader. I started to realize something. If I was calm, the crowd was calm. But if I got up there and I was really into my worship, just doing my thing, all of a sudden the crowd would mirror that. I realized even as a speaker, when I would speak, if I was speaking with boldness and intensity, I would get a little bit more boldness and intense reactions from the crowd. If I went with an empowering message, a motivational message that would get the crowd up and rowdy, they would mirror the same energy. So when you show up grounded, confident, and present, your audience feels safe, intrigued, and they feel that they can draw in a little bit, all right? But when your body is tense, like really freezing up and you're just closed off, you may be saying, I can help you with your words, right? Your body can't be tense, all right? So I'm gonna help you really figure this out. But your posture, so I gave you an example, right? You're excited, it's all good, but when your body is tensed, you're closed off, okay? I'm gonna help you really quick. Your body posture is saying, I'm unsure, don't trust me. Does that make sense? Your body is saying, I'm unsure, don't trust me. You may be saying one thing with your words, but your body posture is saying something else. Confidence is not a personality. It's actually a posture. And I know this. And the reason why I say this is because I've been on the phone with people before who I don't know. They're getting to know me and they say, hey, you come off to me as a very confident woman in this video or this particular situation. And I was like, really? And I went back in my files and I thought at that time when I filmed that video or filmed that reel or whatever it was a couple years ago, I was just learning. And it hit me and I said, but I came off as super confident because it was my posture. I was like, I'm going to do this. I studied it for a little bit and I'm going to do it whether I am super great at it or not. But my posture exuded confidence. And when you get that right, everything about your communication shifts. Okay. Now here goes. I'm going to teach you something about the hands because people don't realize the hands is where people look to see if they can even trust you, okay? Number one, open hands equals trust. I remember hearing, I believe it was from Vanessa Edwards. She's a communication expert. And she was saying that during the pandemic, 2020, there were some people who were, a lot of people were having Zoom calls, right? And on these Zoom calls, sometimes if you're not used to it, your hands will be very below, so no one will see your hands. And people don't know if they can really trust you when they don't see your hands. I remember learning that a while ago. But if your hands is up, they can trust you. When your hands are open, they can trust you. I used to think this was a bad thing. People were like, you have so much gestures. And I'm like, I talk with my hands. Who doesn't? My brain is connected to my hands. So therefore, they're not disconnected, okay? Whenever you're speaking, whenever you're presenting, or having a one-on-one conversation, keep your hands visible and open. It shows that there's open trust there. They can trust you. Isn't that crazy? So let's try that. My hands are open. If you don't see my hands, you're like, and I'm telling you yes. And I'm just speaking to you, you're like, okay. But when you see my hands are open, they're talking to you. For some reason, it signals trust. Why? Because open hands signal honesty. They bring transparency. They say, I'm not hiding anything. I have nothing to hide, not at all. If your hands are in your pockets or behind your back, the subconscious message is, I'm guarded. Literally, that's what the subconscious message is. I'm guarded. I don't want to talk to you. They're behind here. I'm a little nervous. That's what it's saying. When you open your hands, people open their minds. That's what you have to remember. Say it with me. When I open my hands, people open their minds. So the next time you get on a Zoom, or the next time you're either it's a reel or you're getting on YouTube to make your next video, show these hands. Open up your hands and talk. And people will open up their minds. The next one is grounded feet, straight spine. It equals authority. Next time you stand to speak, plant your feet shoulder width apart and align your spine. Not stiff, but just grounded. This posture says, I belong here. I'm not asking for permission to lead. I'm already in authority. Isn't that powerful? Any single time that I straighten up my spine and I begin to speak, all of a sudden it's like, hey, I'm here. I'm not putting my head down. I'm letting y'all know that I know what I'm talking about. I'm talking from a place of authority. And I'm going to share this with you. Wobbly feet, pacing without purpose. You know, people just go back and forth. There's no purpose in it. Or even slouching. All reduce your perceived confidence. Isn't that wild? And honestly, when you do this, when you come up and your spine is straightened, even if you're just sitting down, you move a little forward, right? There's perceived confidence. They're like, this person really knows what they're talking about. But when your body is still, right, and strong, guess what? You own the room without saying a word. So wobbly, people are like, it reduces the confidence. But still and strong, you own the room without even saying a word. You come out and you're like, you got it. Okay. The next one is eye contact. That is super huge. I have met some amazing people. When you get to know them, sometimes their eye contact is not great, but when you get to know them, you realize they have so much great things to say, right? So listen to this. Your eye contact needs to move with purpose. I can't be all over the place. You can't be doing that. Your eyes are powerful. If you're presenting in person, listen, hold eye contact for like 3 to 5 seconds. Don't make it weird. Like once you start doing it for way too long, we are getting really weird. Hello? So make eye contact for 3 to 5 seconds with one person. Then naturally shift. You have a room full of people. Look as if you're speaking to the one, even though it's many, and you're making eye contact for a little bit, like I'm making eye contact with you, and then shift a little bit. Naturally shift, right? If you're on camera, look at the lens, not the screen. Look at the lens, not the screen. Looking directly into the lens feels awkward at first, but it builds trust because it feels like you're looking into someone's soul. When your eyes are shifty or disengaged, people subconsciously disconnect. But when they feel seen, they stay. So a lot of the times there are people who say, I get nervous when speaking, so I don't want to look at people's eyes. I'll tell you this, you can find one person in the room who's really connected to what you're saying, and you can look at them in the eye and then shift off for a little bit and then look back at them. And that way you still feel confident. You don't lose your grounding. But another way, if you really don't like looking people in the eye, is if you look right here at their forehead, it looks like you're looking at their eyes until you get really used to looking at people eye to eye contact. Okay. I know people who have shifty looking eyes, but they're just nervous. They just don't like to look at people in the eyes, and people really have a misreading about them. Okay. So number 4 is control your gestures, because when you have controlled gestures, they actually equal clarity. Okay. So for example, your hands are not just decoration. They're tools of influence. Use them to show size, shape, or order. For example, like this, I'll give you 3 reasons. You see that? I'll give you 3 reasons. If you say, I'll give you 3 reasons, there's a disconnect. You're saying 3, but people recognize 5. And most likely when they're reading that, they're going to go to the 5 first before 3. There's going to be a disconnect there, right? Or we're moving from here to here. Did you see that? We're moving from here to here, from here to here. Those are gestures, okay? Avoid random fidgeting or overly repetitive movements. There are people who repeat the same motions over and over and over again. Did you see how I just did that? Over and over and over again. Your gestures should support your message, not distract from it. Okay, there are some people, their gestures are just way too much. Okay, so take your time, think intentional, calm, and powerful. And here's this: lean in, then hold still. If you want to instantly increase engagement, learn the art of stillness and lean. When you're making a key point, lean forward just slightly. It shows this matters. Then hold still. This is also a power pose as well. Look at this for a second. Lean in. I'm talking to you about communication here. Then hold still. You see how what I just said, it seems like I have something very important to say. Stillness creates emotional gravity. It makes people lean in emotionally. Any single time I'm in a room and I want people to really connect with what's happening, I pause for a minute, because it gives your brain enough time to process, to feel what's going on, especially living in a world where we are constantly bombarded by scrolling, by so many noises and notification. When you take time to be still, your brain starts to process. When you combine stillness with a well-timed pause, your presence becomes unforgettable, all right? So let's be real. Most people were never taught how to use body language well. So if this feels new or awkward, it's okay. Let's talk about how to upgrade it right now. Like I said, I remember learning from Vanessa Edwards how this was a power pose. And I remember going back in the archives of my mind and saying, wow, there's some people that I know who I speak to who are in my life who, when they're speaking to me, they're constantly in this pose, this power pose. It shows that you're in authority, you're listening, you're very serious, right? All right, so let me show you some quick fixes really quick that will upgrade you right now, okay? So it's gonna upgrade your body language. Here's some quick fixes. Number 1, record yourself. You'll learn more in 60 seconds of playback than in 10 hours of guessing. Did you hear that? Number 1, record yourself. There's a lot of times I remember I used to say, I don't want to go back and hear myself. And I believe it was because I didn't want to hear the reality. I've been told many times, you talk too fast, slow down. And as soon as I can remember, I take my time and I pause and I say, slow down, brain. And I believe it's because I get excited about what I'm speaking about, right? So take your time, record something, and watch yourself. 60-second playback. We do that with reels. We do that with shorts. Do that. Number two, Practice in low stakes moments. When you're talking with a friend or probably leading a Zoom meeting, be aware of your hands, posture, and eye contact. Be very aware. That's one of the best places that you can practice. And the reason why I say this is because the moment you're aware, you're going to start realizing, am I constantly interrupting? Oh, am I having eye contact? Oh, wait a minute. Am I constantly saying, hold on, my kids are saying something, and then go back to them and be aware of your posture. Am I slouching? Am I up to make sure they understand I'm listening? That's where you can practice. Believe me, I've been in moments before where I have been so tired of hearing someone speak, and I can remember like my eyes go everywhere, and I should have probably just said, wow, you know what? I really want to be able to pay attention to you. At this moment, I'm kind of not all there. I'm feeling a little bit low energy. I'm feeling a little tired. Maybe we can come back to this conversation a little later so I can give you my full attention, right? Number 3, anchor your gestures to your words. That means every time you say something directional, countable, or conceptual, you give it a visual with your body, okay? All the time. And number 4, breathe before you speak. This is huge. And till today, I constantly have to practice this when I get super excited. One deep breath grounds your nervous system and shifts your presence instantly. One deep breath. I learned that in the pause, like right now. Just like that, I have a second to like gather my thoughts, okay? Here's where this gets really, really powerful. When you apply these techniques to leadership, sales, or public speaking, watch what happens when you keep your hands visible while making a pitch, right? Use a pause before revealing your price. Pause. And I'm going to say that again. Use a pause before revealing your price. Take a deep breath, because what you don't realize is people get very nervous when they're about to give their price. And for some reason, they start speeding up. They go fast. And people can tell that you're nervous, and that nervous energy does not show any confidence. So buyers don't buy, right? Lean in when asking a heart level question. Why? I'm back here. I'm like, I could say, is this business really for you? It can be good. But if I lean in and say, is this business really for you? All of a sudden, it's like, oh, they care. They're leaning in. Nod gently while sharing a story or result. Just nod gently. Nod. Shows that you're paying attention, you're in tune with what is taking place, okay? You're not just using body language anymore. You're leading with energy. Literally. If you think about all the charismatic speakers that you have gone to listen to watch, to learn from, and you say, I don't know, they speak in such a way that I can connect with. They're not boring. They create this energy in the room. Then all of a sudden you're like, oh, now it's starting to click for you, right? And if you lead with energy, when you lead with energy, you influence decisions. And that's the whole purpose in being in business. You want to be able to convert your audience, convert your buyers. Sales isn't about slick scripts, because there's a lot of people who give scripts, but people can tell when you're just reading off a script and you're not really connecting with them. It's about certainty. And your body shows that before your voice ever does. Your body will definitely show it. And, someone might think, well, if I am on the phone, someone definitely can't see my body. They can't, but I guarantee you, if you place your body in the position that it needs to be, even when someone can't see you, it will literally travel through your voice, and people can tell that you are confident. I am speaking the truth. But if you're sitting there and you're nervous and you get on the phone, they can feel that once you open up your mouth, okay? So here's the truth. You don't need to be louder to be more powerful. You just need to be more present. Being present is key. I have tested this out with my husband, just being present to the things that he has to share with me, with my children, just even for me, being present in the moment, being very aware of how I am when I'm speaking, maybe at a church event or speaking for a business event. I can definitely tell that when I am paying attention to my body and I'm aware and I'm present, everything begins to shift in the room. And body language is the fastest way, I'm telling you, to get to the place where you can be present, because you are becoming aware of each thing, each motion. You're making sure there's coordination of when you're saying 5, but your hand is not saying 5. People need to be able to believe what you're saying, okay? So let me know in the comments what's one body language shift you're going to try this week. I just want to know, just one body language shift. And if this has helped you, I want you to go ahead and hit the subscribe button. I teach communication strategies, messaging strategies that help you speak with more clarity, confidence, and conversion. Messaging is key when it comes to your business. And it's not just in your ad copy. It's not just in your emails. It has to do a lot with your body, how you're coming off, and also what's coming out of your mouth, because the world needs your voice and your presence.